Oh, yeah, you're talking. Yeah. Yeah, he's right there. I got you.
You said my cards.
Jared, you direct across the don't sing. She told me to take a bunch of pictures.
I don't care.
All rise for the Honorable Blake Bell.
You may be seated. All right. Before we begin, I just want to ask, if you have cell phones and you're going to take videos, that's fine. Just make sure no flash is on, and try and keep the noise off. That'd be great. I'd also want to congratulate both teams for making it here. It's a long day. I've been through it a few times, so just congratulations. And with that, does everyone have the timesheets? Does timekeepers have timesheets? You need timesheets? Let's see if I've got timesheets.
I have timesheets.
Can you give them to there?
You guys see? Like dying stuff.
You guys good? All right. With that, are there any, or would state like to make introductions?
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning, opposing counsel, Your Honor. Members of the jury, my name is Blake Cheater, and today I will be directing Wendell LaFave and crossing Jesse Cuthbert.
Good afternoon, Your Honor, members of the jury, opposing counsel. My name is Leah Butler, and I will be presenting the opening. I will also be crossing Sejanus Graves, and I will be directing Cooper Chase. And to our next witness.
Hello, Your Honor, opposing counsel, members of the jury. I'm Sam Chalvin, and I am Wendell LaFave. Our last,
Good afternoon, members of the jury, opposing counsel, Your Honor. My name is Ava Rogers, and today I am Cooper Chase.
Defense?
Good afternoon, Your Honor, opposing counsel and members of the jury. My name is Jared Nigro, and I will be conducting the direct examination of Jesse Cofield, the cross-examination of Cooper Chase, and I'll also be performing the opening statement. And my co-counsel.
Good afternoon, Your Honor, opposing counsel, members of the jury. I am Natalie Price, and today I will be conducting the direct examination of Sejanus Graves and the cross-examination of Wendell LaFave, and the closing argument. My first witness.
Good morning, Your Honor, opposing counsel, members of the jury. My name is Kathleen Cornish, and today I will be Jesse Cofield. Our next witness.
Good morning, Your Honor, opposing counsel, members of the jury. Today, I'm Kayla Parker, and today I am Sojourner Scrapes.
Thank you. Now, before we do opening statements, all the jury has rosters, is that correct? Do you guys have an extra roster for me?
Yes.
In defense, do you also have an extra roster?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, you guys can be seated. All right. With that, State of Nevada versus Jesse Caulfield. State, would you like to make your opening statements? All right, are there any pretrial motions? Excuse me.
Yes, we have some pre-trial motions. Are we going to assume that all of the witnesses have automatically been sworn in, or are they going to be individually sworn in?
They can all be sworn in.
Okay, and do we have permission to move about the well?
Yes.
And do we have to ask permission before approaching the witness?
Yes, just do that.
That's it.
Defense, do you have any pretrial motions?
There are no pre-trial motions, Your Honor.
All right, state opening statement.
One's words mean nothing when their actions contradict. Contradictions can lead to the downfall of an individual's story. If a person tells you that they are someplace and you know that it was highly improbable or even impossible that they were there, then how do you know you can trust them? You just simply can't. In our instance today, Jesse Caulfield is one of those people who I know, and I will prove to you, members of the jury, who was not where he said he was. On the night of April 15th, 2013, Cooper Chase went to the mini-mart to get a Snapple. He saw Jesse Caulfield begging the cashier for money to get home and leaving after being denied the money. When Cooper Chase got into his car, Jesse Caulfield shoved the barrel of a gun into the back of his head, smacked him with a firearm, knocked him cold, threw him out of his own car, left him for dead, robbed him, and drove away while he was unconscious in the cold rain. After finding the car, the hair and fibers were professionally analyzed, and they matched the exact clothes and the car and the dog of Cooper Chase. No matter how hard you try to disprove this, the evidence is there. The hair and fibers professionally analyzed from the car and the dark gray Weimaraner matched those of Jesse Caulfield's clothes. The 2009 Honda Civic that Cooper Chase owns was seen a few doors down in front of Jesse Caulfield's house. And lastly, Cooper Chase's wallet was with Jesse Caulfield. Evidence can prove why Jesse Caulfield is guilty. Thank you.
Thank you. Defense?
If you've done nothing wrong, you have nothing to hide. Ladies and gentlemen, the defense has laid our cards face up on the table. We have brought forth every piece of evidence in this case. The defendant has done nothing wrong. She is an innocent woman, wrongfully accused for a crime she didn't commit. She has done nothing wrong, and she has nothing to hide. On April 15th, 2013, Cooper Chase was hit in the side of the head with a handgun while sitting in the driver's seat of her car. Cooper Chase was knocked out and left unconscious in the middle of a store parking lot. The suspect stole Cooper Chase's car and everything in it. The state has falsely accused Jesse Caulfield of that crime, but the evidence will show otherwise. The evidence will establish that Jesse never stepped foot in Cooper Chase's car, and Jesse was just on her way to hang out with her friends. Miss Caulfield was simply walking to the mini-mart to buy ice cream. She got there, bought her ice cream, and then it started storming. In order to avoid the storm, Jesse asked certain people if she could get a ride home. However, Jesse couldn't get a ride, and in result asked the clerk if she could have a few dollars for a cab. The clerk declined and threatened to call the cops. Jesse walked outside and found a wallet on the ground. You will hear from Jesse that she didn't want to give the lost wallet to the clerk because she didn't want the clerk to call the cops like he had threatened. So Jesse kept walking to her friend's house in the rain. You also hear the defendant testify that Officer Hernandez, an officer who despised Jesse, came to her door the day after that night. The officer asked to come in because the officer was investigating a crime, and Jesse said, "Sure, come on in. I have nothing to hide." The officer found the wallet that Jessie had found the night before and arrested her. Because of this, the reputation of this young girl is ruined. Because of this 17-year-old girl might get kicked out of high school. Because Jessie picked up a lost wallet, she is the victim of a false accusation by overzealous prosecutors. In order for you to find a verdict of guilty in this case, the state must prove to you beyond a reasonable doubt that Jessie did in fact assault and rob Cooper Chase. This means at the end of this trial, if you are not so firmly convinced of Jessie's guilt that no doubt exists in your mind, then you must find Jessie not guilty. But at the end of this trial, my co-counsel, Natalie Price, will return to you and ask that you find Jessie not guilty. While you're listening to the evidence today, remember, if you had done nothing wrong, you have nothing to hide. Thank you in advance for your time and consideration.
Thank you, counsel. State, would you like to call your first witness?
Yes, Your Honor, we would like to call Wendell LaFave up to the stand. Will you please introduce yourself to the court?
My name is Wendell Lafave.
What is your education background?
I have a genetics and chemistry master's degree from Nevada State University.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a hair and fiber expert for the county of Arcadeville
How long have you been hair and fiber expert?
for 2 years.
Your Honor, pursuant into stipulation 3, Mr. LaFave is a qualified expert, and at this time, I'd like to tender him as such.
Yes. And can you ask him to pull the mic down, just so we can hear him a little better? Can you just pull the mic down just a little bit? Perfect. There we go. That's fine.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, do you charge a fee?
No, I do not,
Why?
because I work for the county of Arcadeville.
Were there any hairs on the defendant's clothing?
Yes, there were, of a gray Weimaraner dog,
And where in this car does the dog ride?
in the back seat.
And where in the car did Mr. Chase testify to the asylum being when the assault was committed?
Also in the back seat where the dog sits.
Can you tell me a little bit about the car fibers?
The fibers are from a 2009 Honda Civic with a blue dye interior.
And what are the statistics for two fibers being the exact same?
Statistically 0.
Thank you, Your Honor. Or, Mr. LaFave. That is no further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Price, would you like to cross-examine?
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Mr. LaFave. I hope your day is going great so far. We are going to try to get you out of here as quick as possible so you can enjoy the rest of your weekend. You have been a hair and fiber expert for the county of Arcadeville for 2 years.
Yes, that is true.
Because you work for the city, you don't charge a fee for testifying today.
Also true.
You would agree with me that if you chose not to testify today, then you would get in trouble, correct?
Yes.
You would possibly even get fired if you chose not to testify today.
No, I wouldn't.
Now I'd like to talk about your investigation in this case. You have looked for 3 things in this case, correct?
Yes.
First, the transfer from the fiber from the victim. Second, the persistence of the fiber.
Yes.
Lastly, the uniqueness of the fibers.
Exactly.
Now the search of the car seat yielded nothing substantial. However, you claim 2 distinct pieces of evidence were located on Jessie Caulfield's clothing.
Yes, a 2009 Honda Civic car seat fibers with a blue dye interior and a gray Weimaraner dog hairs.
That is the dog hairs from the fibers from the car's interior.
Yes.
The dog hairs were small, dark gray hairs.
Yes.
There were hairs of a dark gray Weimaraner.
Yes.
Apparently, the dog rides in the back seat of the vehicle, and constantly many of these hairs can be found scattered around the
Objection.
car.
That is a compound question.
That is compound. Could you break it up a little bit?
Yes. Many of these hairs can be scattered about the car, correct?
Yes. Found mostly in the back seat.
In scanning the defendant's clothing, you found hair on both back and front of the defendant's clothing.
Yes, that is true.
Now, I'd like to ask you a hypothetical. Let's say the defendant indeed did sit in the back.
Objection. Calls for speculation.
You qualified him as an expert, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So do you think he can testify to a hypothetical?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm not gonna allow it then. Go ahead.
Let's say the defendant indeed did sit in the back of the seat of Cooper Chase's car. Wouldn't the dog hairs only be on the back of his shirt and pants?
Yes, they would.
It wouldn't make sense for the hairs to be all over his clothes.
Yes.
Now I'd like to ask you another hypothetical. Assume for a moment that the defendant encountered a dark gray hair Weimaraner earlier that day and played with the dog. The hair fibers would in fact go into Jesse's clothes.
That would be true.
So the dog hairs are more likely from Jesse playing and petting the dog rather than just sitting in the backseat of the car.
Possibly.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Any redirect based off that?
No, Your Honor.
All right. You may step down. Thank you. All right, are you ready to call your next witness?
Yes, Your Honor. The prosecution would like to call Cooper Chase to stand. Would you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Good afternoon. My name is Cooper Chase.
And I would like to ask of you, do you have any pets?
Yes, I have a gray Weimaraner named Greta.
Does your dog frequently travel with you?
Oh, yes, everywhere.
And how do you get to those places?
Often in my car.
And would you tell the jury a bit about your car?
Well, it's a 2009 Honda Civic with blue interior.
Is this the only car you own?
Yes.
And could we talk about April 15, 2013?
Yes.
Where were you?
I was on my way back from the gym. I really like Snapples, and I wanted one on the way back, so I stopped at the mini mart.
And how did you get to the mini mart?
In my car.
So once you got into the store, what happened?
Well, I went back to the drink section where I usually get my Snapples, and I asked, and I looked around and, found my drink, and I did hear someone talking to the clerk, asking if they could have a ride.
Objection, hearsay.
Your response, counsel?
This is not hearsay because it is, it's not an admission by a party opponent.
Who's the statement by?
It is by Jesse Crawford.
All right, overruled.
If you could continue.
And I didn't really listen to it. I was just focused on getting my drink, and I purchased the drink and left.
And what did you do once you got outside?
Well, it just started pouring terribly, and I dropped my stuff by accident, and I picked it up quickly and ran to my car. I opened the car and threw my stuff into the passenger seat and started to start the car.
And would you tell us what happened once you were inside of your car?
Well, something hard was shoved into the back of my head. I didn't know what it was when I looked into the rearview mirror and only saw the glint of metal and knew that it was a gun. And then it was knocked into my head again, and I felt sick and fell out of my car, and I was pushed, and I fell down into the cement and to the parking lot, and I blacked out.
And what did you do after you regained consciousness?
Well, I went into the store, and I talked to the clerk, and he immediately called 911. And then I had some injuries to my head, but I felt all right, so I called a friend and went home.
Now, Mrs. Chase, why are you here today?
What this person did to me is not right, and they can't get away with it. I don't feel as if anyone should get away from injuring someone like this.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Nigra, would you like to cross-examine?
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Cooper.
Good afternoon.
You were on your way home after your workout at around 9 p.m., correct?
Yes.
And you decided to stop at the store to get a drink.
Yes, the Snapple.
And it's your testimony that when you walked in the store, you saw a person wearing a hat at the counter.
Yes.
And this is the man you believe robbed you.
I don't know, I didn't see their face, but I did see the back of their head and recognized the hat.
However, you didn't see this person's face.
No, I did not.
You only saw the back of this person.
Yes.
In fact, you couldn't even identify the gender of the person.
No, I couldn't, but I recognized their voice.
And the clerk told the person to get lost.
Yes.
And then you heard the door buzz after someone left.
Yes.
But to be fair, you never looked up to see who left.
No, I did. When I looked up again, though, the defendant was
You
gone.
had in fact heard that door buzz multiple times before buying your drink, correct?
Yes.
So someone else must have left before you bought your drink.
It's possible, yes.
You went to the clerk and started taking things out of your pocket so you can find some money, correct?
Yes, to pay for my Snapple.
And you pulled out a $20 bill and gave it to the clerk.
Mm-hmm.
You put the change in your pocket and kept everything else in your hands.
Yes.
You were holding your keys, your wallet, your drink, and your phone, correct?
Yes.
When you walked out, it started pouring rain.
Yes, really bad.
So you ran to your car.
Yes, very fast.
You were also holding a lot in your hands, like you testified.
Yes, I didn't have time to put it back in my pocket.
And on the way running to your car, you dropped your keys.
Yes.
So you could have easily dropped your wallet too, correct?
No, it was still in my hand.
You could have, that's not my question. My question is you could have easily dropped your wallet too,
Yes,
correct?
I could have, but I didn't.
But you weren't really certain if you had your wallet when you got in the car.
I put all of the things I had in my hands into the passenger seat.
Were you certain or not if you had it in the car?
I couldn't be completely certain because I wasn't exactly staring at my hands, but
Yes. So you got in your car and felt a gun to your neck.
yes.
Now, before you describe for the jury what you say you saw, let's go over the conditions of that night. It was dark outside. Correct?
Yes.
Which makes sense. It was past 9 o'clock.
Yes.
And it was pouring rain, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you were sitting in your dark car.
Yes.
And the person holding the gun was in the backseat.
Yes.
And so it's your testimony that at this point you glanced at your rearview mirror and you were able to get a good look at the person in the dark backseat.
I did see their hat.
And so you couldn't see much at all.
No, but it did, and I heard their voice, and it sounded like the person that I had heard in the store.
You couldn't see much at all.
No.
Right? And all you saw was a person's hat, right?
Yes, and the glint of a metal gun.
And once again, you didn't even know if it was a man or a woman.
No.
And so the person hit you in the side of your head with a gun, correct?
Yes.
And you passed out and woke up 20 minutes later.
Yes.
And the right side of your face was so swollen, right?
Yes.
And the police came and you gave them some information.
Mm-hmm.
So, after you had been hit in the side of the head with a gun and being passed out for 20 minutes, you're telling this jury you could give the police an accurate description of the person in your car?
Well, I remembered everything. It didn't seem like anything was missing from my memory.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Butler, would you like to redirect?
No redirects, Your Honor.
You can step down. Does the state have any more witnesses?
As of now, the prosecution rests.
Okay. Defense, would you like to call your first witness?
The defense calls Jesse Cofield. Good morning, Jesse.
Good morning.
Do you please introduce yourself to the jury?
My name is Jessie Caulfield.
And do you go to school?
Yes, I attend Arcadeville High, but probably not for long.
And you mentioned you might not attend Arcadeville High anymore. Could you tell the jury why that is?
Everybody knows about this accusation. The principal, the students, the parents. My life is ruined.
Were you arrested?
Yes, I was.
And why were you arrested?
I was arrested because the prosecution believes that I assaulted a man, stole his car and his things, but I did not.
Did the police ever have an investigation?
Yes, they did. They searched my house.
And what happened after he came into your house?
He asked to come into my house, and I said, sure, because I have nothing to hide. He searched my house for a little bit, and he found the wallet that belonged to Cooper Chase.
And did you ever come to an understanding of why you were being arrested?
Yes, I did.
Why?
Like I said, they believe that I did something that I didn't do.
Could you describe for the jury the events of the day before?
Yes, I was playing with my friend at the park. We were throwing a frisbee around, and this big dog came up to us because they was trying to catch the frisbee. It ran off a little bit after.
And did anything else happen that day?
Yes, I went to the mini mart to pick up some ice cream before I went to my friend's house.
And what were the conditions of that night?
It was extremely stormy and raining.
And what did you do following that?
I went to the store and I headed to the ice cream section.
Did you have a ride home?
No, I did not. It was pouring outside and I figured I could beat the storm, but I didn't. So I started asking people around if they could give me a ride to my friend's house, but they all refused.
And was anyone acting unusual in the store?
Yes, the clerk was extremely hostile towards me. I asked him for some money for a cab, but he refused.
And what did you do following that?
I used the restroom and then I left.
And then did you happen to find anything on your way?
Yes, I stumbled upon a wallet that I now know is Cooper Chase's.
And so why didn't you give the wallet to the clerk?
He threatened to call the cops on me. I wasn't going to go back in there.
And so did you ever get to your friend's house?
Yes, I did.
Miss Cofield, did you steal a car that day?
No, I did not.
And did you assault someone that day?
No, I would never do that.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Cross-examination.
So, you are only 17,
Correct.
and you walked to the store.
Yes, I did.
And when you got there, you asked for rides from other people.
I did.
And you only asked elderly or weak people. Is that correct?
I wanted to be cautious on who I asked. It's a bad area, so I just wanted to be careful.
Why weak people?
Because I wanted to be careful on who I asked.
And when nobody was willing to drive you home, you resorted to asking the clerk for money. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And on your way, on your way to your friend's house, you went to the parking lot.
Correct.
And you must have passed Cooper Chase's car, correct?
I assume it's possible.
I would like to enter Exhibit 1 into evidence, please.
What are you entering? Is there any objections?
Objection, hearsay.
This is a public record.
Okay. Your objection is overruled. Are you just going to show it to the jury?
Yes, I have some questions.
Okay. Counsel, if you'd like to look at what he's doing, you can get up and move if you want to. But just don't block the jury. Just like stand over there. Thank you.
So, when you left the mini mart, you went to the bathroom, right?
Correct.
And you didn't go back in the store because of the store clerk, correct?
That's correct.
And so, when you left to go to your friend's house, you went through the alleyway, correct?
I did.
And, but how did you get Cooper Chase's wallet? Because Cooper Chase went directly from here to here, but you just testified that you went over here. So how'd you get the wallet?
He could have dropped it anywhere.
But how would he have gone over here? He went straight to his car.
I just stumbled upon it.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Any redirect based upon that cross?
No redirect, Your Honor.
No redirect? You may sit down. Ms. Price, would you like to call your final witness?
Sujana Scrapes. Please introduce yourself to the jury.
Hi, I'm Sojourner Graves.
I would like to talk about the night of April 15th, 2013. Can you describe for the jury the events of that night?
Well, I was going to my friend's house, but I decided to stop by the store to get some mints.
Can you tell the jury the weather conditions of that night?
It was raining a lot and it was about to start a big storm.
Did you ever arrive to the store?
Yes.
What did you see when you walked into the store?
Well, I was walking into a store and a girl with baggy clothing approached me and asked me to take her home. I was already late to my friend's house, so I couldn't take her home.
What was your impression of the girl?
She was very polite.
What happened after that?
I went into the store and I heard the girl talking to the clerk.
You mentioned you heard the girl who asked for a ride talking to the cashier. Did you hear what they said?
Well, the girl asked the cashier for a ride home in the cab, the girl asked the cashier for money for a cab, but the cashier was being extremely rude.
At this time, was it still storming outside?
Yes.
Did you ever leave the store?
Yes.
Did you see anything unusual happen?
Yeah, I walked out and I walked to my car and I saw a person holding a ton of things in their hand, running to their car and they dropped something, but they didn't seem to notice.
Did you recognize who it was?
It was the person I saw in the store earlier. It was Cooper Chase.
Did Cooper notice he/she dropped an object?
No, he kept running to his car.
Was there anything else that caught your attention?
Yes, I saw the person with baggy clothing running in the same place where the object was dropped.
Was this person Jessie, the girl you asked for a ride earlier?
All I can tell you is he was wearing the same baggy clothing.
Did you later go look for the object Cooper Chase had dropped?
Yes, but I couldn't find it.
Could this be because the person who ran across the parking lot picked it up?
All I can tell you is they ran in the same place. I did not see him pick it up.
No more questions, Your Honor.
Cross-examination?
Yes, sir.
Mrs. Graves, you went to the store to get breath mints, correct?
Yes.
And while you were there, even you denied Caulfield when he asked you for a ride home.
Yeah, I was late to my friend's house.
And you also said that someone had dropped something outside.
Yes.
And while you claimed this, you didn't want to go check?
No, it was raining and I saw him drop it, but I wasn't sure.
And also, you never saw where the person in baggy clothes went.
I saw he went in the same place where the object was dropped.
But after that, you did.
No.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, you can step down. Before we do closing arguments, is there any time violations? Anything?
Your Honor.
All right. State, would you like to close?
Yes, Your Honor, but I ask that we reserve time for rebuttal after.
That's fine.
Good afternoon, Your Honor, opposing counsel, members of the jury. My name is Blake Cheater, and I'm representing the prosecution in this case. You cannot convict on coincidence. Well, today the defense will have you believe that this entire case is a coincidence. Evidence shows that Jesse Caulfield made the calculated decision to rob and mercilessly beat Cooper Chase. When Cooper Chase, the victim in this case, went into the mini-mart, Caulfield made the decision to go outside right before Cooper did. Cooper Chase was beaten and robbed. And Cooper Chase awoke injured and afraid, with her car stolen. The next day, Taylor Hernandez, an officer on the case, got a call saying that Cooper's car was found. Officer Hernandez decided to check out the area the car was in, and Jesse Caulfield was a few doors down from the car. When Hernandez knocked on the door, she asked Caulfield she could search the house, and she found none other than Cooper Chase's wallet in Jesse Caulfield's house. And like in my cross-examination that I previously did, Jesse Caulfield testified that she went through the parking lot during their direct, but when I was crossing her, she stated that she went around. You have caught Miss Caulfield in a lie. Just doesn't add up. Their whole case just doesn't add up. Today, we can know, based on the evidence, that Caulfield did get his ride home, not from a friend, but from Cooper Chase. Jesse Caulfield is here on 3 counts: assault, robbery, and unauthorized use of a vehicle. The prosecution asks that you consider the evidence given and make the right decision, the only decision. Rule in favor of the prosecution. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Cheater. Defense.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you have done nothing wrong, you have nothing to hide. The defense has came here today and laid forth all of evidence right in front of you for you to see. The defendant, Jesse Caulfield, herself testified before you today to look you in the jury in the eyes and tell you everything that has happened that night. Because Jesse Caulfield has absolutely nothing to hide. On April 15, 2013, Cooper Chase was assaulted and robbed after 9 p.m. in a store parking lot. Because of this, the state has wrongly accused Jesse Caulfield of this crime. But, as you have heard today, the evidence established otherwise. You have heard the testimony of 2 witnesses. First, Sujani Scrapes, who told you that she saw someone who looked like Cooper Chase running to a car in a store parking lot and dropping something as Cooper was running. Mrs. Graves also told you someone was wearing the same clothes as Jesse walked across the parking lot towards that object. You of course heard the testimony of Jesse Caulfield. Jesse told you she did in fact find a wallet on the ground and picked it up. Jesse put it in her pocket and planned on returning it the next day. The prosecution wants you to believe that Jesse had a dark gray hair from the back of Cooper Chase's car. However, you heard Jesse testify that she encountered a dark gray Weimaraner at the park that afternoon. In order for you to find a verdict of guilt, the state must prove to you beyond a reasonable doubt that Jesse Caulfield did assault Cooper Chase and steal and drive her car. This means if you are not so firmly convinced of Jesse's guilt that no doubt exists in your mind, then you must find Jesse not guilty. And ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the prosecution has failed in their burden of proof, and it is not even close. The defense has presented all evidence before you today. Now, while you are deliberating on a verdict, remember, if you have done nothing wrong, you have nothing to hide. I am confident that you will see truth and find Jesse Caulfield not guilty. Thank you for your time.
Rebuttal.
So, in Ms. Price's closing, she stated that Sejanus Graves saw a wallet drop. Well, if Sejanus Graves saw a wallet drop, and if Ms. Caulfield went all the way around past the bank, how would have he gotten the wallet? Because Mr. Graves cannot see anywhere except in front of the mini mart. Like I said, their story does not add up. Also, she stated about our hairs. The statistics for 2 car fibers being the exact same, statistically 0, as our expert testified. Their story just does not add up. Doesn't. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Sir, are you collecting the ballots before we do critique?
Yes.
Calculate it. Did you get all theirs? Let's give both teams a round of applause. We'll do a short critique since it's been a long day. I'll let the jury, the judges, introduce themselves and give a little critique. We can start with Gray.
Hi, my name's Gray. Oh, stand up. Sorry. Hi, my name is Gray. I'll keep it short. I saw both teams when I was a judge, and I think you guys improved a lot from first round, I believe. I didn't see both of your sides. These are new sides to me. So I am honored to judge this round, and I thought you guys both did a phenomenal job.
I'm Bryce Nagel. I just want to say good job, everyone. I want to go ahead and just compliment all the witnesses. I thought you guys really embodied your characters. You guys really made it believable, and yes, everyone did a good job.
Hello, my name's Chase. I was very impressed. This was a really good championship round. You guys both fought at it hard. I think you guys, if you guys all decide to move up to high school block, then you guys will all be successful.
I'm Paul. I'm a senior at Fate. I did mock trial this year as a witness, and I thought all the witnesses did very well. I saw this team go earlier today. You guys definitely improved and definitely used your critique from earlier today, which was impressive to see. The other team was very impressive as well. I like the character of the witnesses. The attorneys were very confident. Leaned a little on notes, which is fine because you're still in middle school, but I like the enthusiasm and all your openings, closings, and crossing directs. So great job, everyone. Be proud.
Hi, I'm Gary. I just want to say you guys did a great job. It was apparent that all you guys prepared very hard for this. And whatever you guys do with mock trial, I think you guys will do very well. So.
Hello, I'm Jake Flennemeyer. I'm a senior at Faith, and I was going to say you guys did a great job. I saw the defense before, and you guys really took your guys' critiques. You guys made it all better, and you guys just did a great showing, as well as the prosecution. I think you guys should all really consider doing high school mock when you get there, as you guys will be a great addition. Just a great job to all of you guys, though.
Hi, my name is Blake Bell. I'm a senior at Faith. I've done mock trial for 2 years. I was a witness last year, and I'm an attorney this year. And I thought all of you guys did a really good job. I thought the attorneys were very well spoken, as well as the witnesses. Some of you guys can speak up a little bit. And I thought you guys used the well pretty well. I liked how you brought in an exhibit. And I think how many people is this their first mock trial competition from this round? Yeah, that's pretty cool that you guys made it to the championship on your first round. I personally think your first mock trial competition compared to your second mock trial competition is the biggest jump. That was my biggest jump, and I'm sure for a lot of these these judges up here, it was their biggest jump as well. So I think you guys did a good job, and I think your student coaches did a good job. So if you do decide to do mock trial or you do middle school mock next year, I think you guys are going to improve a lot. But overall, it was my first time watching the case, and I was pretty impressed. It was the shortest case I've ever seen before, but that's not a bad thing because it's been a long day. So, and of course to the parents, just thank you for all the help and support you've given them. They've done a great job. So. Miss Uwe is calculating the scores right now. It's a lot harder process than you would think. So thank you for being patient with us as we've been trying to do that all day, eventually to get here. So if anyone has any questions or they have questions for them or for me or anything else to buy us some time until we can give the trophy, that'd be awesome. Or we can just keep critiquing, because we can do that. No questions?
I'm curious how many of the jurors will go to college and then are thinking about taking it to the next level, obviously, go to law school.
Go ahead.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I plan on going to law school. Yes, I don't know where I'm going. I really enjoyed mock trial the 3 years I did it, and I think it's a great thing for everyone. I wasn't that good at speaking, and Blake can tell you that I'm mean. So like when I was a witness, I would get really mean, and I've developed a lot to not be as mean. So yeah, it's it helps you a lot speaking wise, thinking on your feet and a lot like that. So I do think you guys, if you guys are 8th graders, you guys should see if you guys could be in the summer program or try to be in mock trial next year, because I think you guys would make a great addition to the team. Also, for you, some of you guys are 6th graders, right? So I think you guys should keep doing it. I think you guys are doing a great job. But yeah.
Just to add to Gray's point, my team won the state championship this year. I was on my second state championship team, and we had 5 freshmen on the team. And they all did middle school mock. Every freshman that was on my team did middle school mock. That's all where they got their start. And I saw them in middle school mock, and from middle school mock to their freshman year, like it was amazing. It was an amazing jump. Like you would not believe like how good some of these freshmen are. I started my junior year and I got a whole lot better going into my senior year. But the fact that we have like 6th graders and 8th graders doing this right now and like getting an understanding for it, taking a grasp of like what mock trial is like and how you use the courtroom and everything is honestly going to be a huge advantage for Faith. So if you guys want to join the Justice and Advocacy program, I did it. A lot of these guys up here did it, and it was just like, it honestly changed my life. It was a great experience for me. So I hope you guys do join it and you do continue to do mock trial, because you're good and you're going to get a lot better. So if there's anything else anyone wants to say. All right, I think the scores are in. Sure. I don't see a second place trophy up here, so we'll just do first place. In first place, Impeached Cobblers.
Let's have Impeached Cobblers get together, they can get their coaches to take a picture, and then we'll have
Let's get Impeached Cobblers and their coaches up for a picture, and then we'll also take a picture of mock trail. Blake, do you want to get in this picture for us? And then the scoring panel, do you guys want to go behind them?
Yes.